Crazy, man. I said you scared of it. Is it back up?
No, it should be live.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Salakia, man. Satan trying his best to stop Israel from getting edified. But we're going to go back to Deuteronomy 13. Right? Deuteronomy 13 and verse 9. If thou shalt surely kill him, thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage.
Yeah, and that's a horrible way to go out, getting stoned. Right? It's not a quick death, man. Right? And people were a lot stronger back then. Right? It wasn't like the weak Jake got weak, they could barely lift up. These men were strong, man. They worked with animals, they were husbandmen. So when they stoned you, it was over, man. One hit right here, crack your nose. You know, and you had Jakes back there probably trying to move out the way, pick it up, kind of throw it back at him, right? Run, try to get, and then they'll kind of catch you, man. And it's over, right? So that stoning is coming back in the kingdom. When the nations go up, we're going to have to stone them. And we're going to have spiritual power, man. Throw a rock right through them.
Verse 11. And all Israel shall hear and fear and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. If thou shalt hear any in one of the cities which the Lord thy God hath given thee to dwell therein, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you and have withdrawn the inhabitants of the city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known. Then shalt thou inquire and make search and act diligently, and behold, if it be truth and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is in there, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword.
See that? That means every city in America should be destroyed. Every city. Right? Any city that the so-called white man and these other nations have should be destroyed, huh? So why would the Lord come and destroy the earth? It's part of the law, man. Why? Because the nations are breaking these commandments. The Most High is not destroying the earth in these cities because he feel like it, man. Right? The Lord is judging every man according to their works. Now, even in the kingdom of heaven, let's go to Isaiah 60 and 12. We have to apply that. Where the Lord said, for nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Come. I got the Esther first.
Okay, we're going to go to Esther 16 and 24 in the Apocrypha.
The book of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 24. Therefore, every city and country whatsoever which shall not do according to these things shall be destroyed without mercy, with fire and sword, and shall be made not only unpassable for men, but also most hateful to wild beasts and fowls forever.
See that? So if you're a nation, you don't do according to these things, you're going to be destroyed without mercy. We're going to inquire diligently first according to the law. The Most High might say, or he might go to the apostles, and the apostles sitting on the throne and say, hey, look, Mathamika, Lamad, there is word going out that the Moabites, they don't want to keep the Feast of Memorial blowing of the trumpets. And they have a god they set up. I want you to take 20,000 chariots and 50,000 mighty men and go figure out what's going on. And you got to go over there and see what's going on. They're going to have heads to them. You got to set up the heads of the Moabites. Right? You have to talk to the elders of the Moabites and say, what's going on? I heard they're trying to set up Chemosh all over again, right? Right? And all these other gods. Now they're going to say, yeah, we did it. Yeah, it is what it is, man. We sick of serving you Israelites. Guess what? You're going to have to bring that report back to the Most High. And the Most High is going to say, okay, all right, go over there and do spiritual power, right? And destroy them utterly, man. Right? And then every nation is going to hear about that. The Hamites, the Ammonites, and they're going to know what the Moabites did that day. Because you're keeping the law. You're going to have that law in your inward parts. And Deuteronomy chapter 13 to inquire diligently concerning these matters when these cities go up. You know?
You said Isaiah
60 and 12.
60 and 12. No. Isaiah chapter 60 and 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
That's plain. That's in the kingdom. A nation might say, no, I'm sick of keeping the Sabbath day. You sit and you keeping track of all the nations that show up. Okay, the Ammonites are here, the Moabites are here, every nation. Okay, where are the Cushites? Then you roll up on the Cushites and they pissed. No, we're not keeping the Sabbath day today. We want to do what we want to do. We've been doing this for 250 years. We're done. It's been 1,000 years and we still keeping the Sabbath day. We want to do what we want to do. Guess what? You have to kill them, huh? You're not going to say, well, okay, you can serve your gods. We're not going to be like Cyrus and like the so-called white man, where we're tolerable to other religions in the kingdom. And everybody can serve their gods and do what they want to do. No, in the kingdom, everybody on the earth is going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? We have some other.
Yes, this is like all the nations, including Tel Aviv and here in Babylon, are having like national pride LGBT.
Yup, LGBT month. Now, if you don't get involved in it, they'll judge you, man. You might have LGBTQ Pride Month feast at your job, and then some homosexual to kind of bring muffins for everybody, and you gotta go.
Rainbow muffins.
Yeah, they gotta go. Right? Your name might be Chris. Your boss, Chris. Why aren't you downstairs in the break room? Now you can say, look, I'm not doing that. Chris, if you don't want to go, then you're fired. Now, Chris, if he's a man, he's gonna say, look, it is what it is. Right? But if Chris go down there, you gotta put the little birthday hat on the cone, that damn spitty thing, helicopter on top, and he down there eating that damn muffin. Hey, it's lights out for Chris, man. So that's how they do that now. Like the elder said, man, these nations, if you don't get down with this system, you perish financially. You perish damn spiritually and emotionally. But that's how it's going to be in the kingdom, man. Right? If you don't get down with the commandments, the new moon is over.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of all the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. They shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
See that? That's plain, right? They're going to die. Let's go to the book of Psalms 22 and 27. Psalms chapter 22 and 27. It reads, all the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto the Lord, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee. For he, for the kingdom is Yahweh's, and he is the governor among the nations. All they that be fat upon earth shall eat and worship. All they that go down to the dust shall bow before him, and none can keep alive his own soul. That's how it's going to be, man. Everybody that's fat upon the earth, meaning they wealthy, they may have islands and lands, they may own companies, suits and ties, expensive shoes, fancy cars, eating exotic food, traveling around the world. Everybody, poor and rich, is going to bow down to the Lord. Huh? And that's in Daniel, the 3rd chapter, when the king set up the golden image, huh? And said at the sound of the dulcimer, sackbut, trumpet, and psaltery, everybody has to bow down to this image that I have created. And Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael said, no, I'm not bowing down to that damn image, right? I serve the Most High. Right? And they was willing to taste death for not serving these images, man. You know? That's enough.
Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 16. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it to the midst of the streets, and shall burn with fire the city and the spoil thereof, every whit for the Lord thy God, and it shall be a heap forever, and it shall not be built again.
See that? So all these cities are supposed to be destroyed and never built again. Right? When the Lord returns, that's why America's not going to be built again. That's why Malachi chapter 1 and 1 on down, it says what? They shall build for what? But I will throw down. Right? And they shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Most High have indignation for. So America's, they're building. You'll see these cranes out there on the side of the road. You might be driving late at night and people working on the side of the median of the road and digging stuff in and building things. But the Lord's going to throw all that down, man. And America's not going to get built up again. Right? They had the Reconstruction period in the 1800s, man, when they had to kind of build back after the Civil War. No, it's not going to be that again, man. Once America's destroyed, that's it. You know?
Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 1. Right? Deuteronomy 7 and 1. Everybody goes to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, but they don't never read before that. Right? It says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivitites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them, and thou make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Right? So the Lord said, destroy these dirty Africans, man. Beat them in the dust. Right? You don't make no covenants with them. Right? This is the law. We can't make covenants with the so-called African man. Right? If you're making covenants with the African man, you're in the midst of sin. You need to get up out of that, man. We're not making no peace treaties. Right? No love covenants. None of that, man. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. You shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire, man. So, man, honestly, we're supposed to be wreaking havoc, burning down these churches, right? That Black Lives Matter statue that they made in New York, right? The George Floyd statue they just made. Everybody going over there taking pictures of this statue with this man with a white beater on. Yeah, we're supposed to be burning, destroying these images, man. Not because we want to, because the Lord said to. But it's a time and a season for everything, man. We're slowly approaching that hunting season, man. You know, the so-called white man can't wait for hunting season. He can kill his deers and bears and bucks, rabbits, whatever he like to kill. We're gonna be destroying nations, man. We're gonna be beating them down, cutting their toes off, cutting their heads off, hanging them at the top of the streets. Right, just like how Joshua did it to the 7 nations, the same way we're gonna do it to these other nations. And we're gonna beat them to nothing. The scriptures say they're gonna beat them to 1,000 pieces, man.
Yeah.
Right? With a rod of iron, man. You ever hit your shin on the side of the bed, you know, the metal piece? You know how bad that hurt? Imagine somebody beating you with a rod of iron to pieces, man. That's what we about to get into, man. It's the hunting season, but before you can hunt, you gotta get in order, man. And reading this law is getting our people in order, getting that structure that we've been lacking for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, right? And the men of the Lord got to set it in order, man. And we got to hearken to these commandments, man. Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old, man. And that's what we do when we go back and revisit this law. We remember the days of old, the righteous way that our righteous forefathers walked in.
Quick precept, Psalms chapter 18 and 40. Psalms chapter 18 and verse 40. It reads, Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, meaning the heathen cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. So how's the Lord come to save everybody? He says they cried unto the Lord, but he's not saving everybody. He didn't even answer them. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. And that's literal. That's not a metaphor. You're literally gonna beat people small as dust. Kind of smashing their face in. You smash. Now you might hit somebody kind of knuckle. Like damn, huh? And you damn knuckle all bruised up, got soaked in ice. Put a damn steak on your eye. You know? You're gonna literally be punching people, then they skull crack, and then your fist go through their skull. Then you start smashing up their skull with a damn sword, and then with your hand, you kind of kick their dust, man. Blood gonna be all on you. The Lord said we're gonna be dancing in the blood of the wicked. Right? Our feet is gonna be dipped in and a lot of brothers don't like that. Why are they talking about that? Go back to Deuteronomy. No, we're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna talk about our feet being drenched in blood, man. Your socks all wet. You might be slipping on some blood. Slip a little bit. You gotta catch your grip. You know? All this stuff they make movies about. You watching John Wick and 300. You kind of getting into it. We're gonna be doing that, man. Right? Instead of a gun, you had that bow and arrow with the headshots spinning around. It's gonna go through it. You know? You're gonna take it out and throw it. The Edomite gonna be running. You're gonna chase him down. You know? Drop kick. You might drop kick an Edomite, man. You know?
God, it's a TV show on Netflix. I watched it like a month ago. It's called Invincible. I don't know if brother's seen it, man. Man, they was the father was beating the son so bad, man. Just was I don't know. Can we show it? You think they'll strike it?
I gotta know how to show that.
Yeah.
Army man?
Yeah, Army Man. That's his name. Beat this dude to a pulp, man. And smash his face in. They'll strike it. Yeah. But brothers should check that out, man. That's how we gonna be doing these heathens, man. I'm talking destroying them, doing whatever we please with them, man. That's Joel the 2nd chapter. It's called the show is called Invincible, right? It's Invincible, man.
Never heard of that,
man. He was, I tell you, but he was tearing that man up.
Oh, you talking about that movie?
It's a series.
Okay,
it's a cartoon series. Okay. Right, but that goes into Joel the 2nd chapter, right? I don't know where I want to start it, but we could we don't even gotta get into it. But Joel the 2nd chapter is gonna describe the day of hunting, man. From 2:1 all the way to verse 11. Right? That's what's gonna be happening in these last days, man. We're gonna be doing that to every nation that doesn't get down with serving Yahweh Shai, every nation that bucks up against Israel, right? Because it's gonna be nations that buck up, man. Right? It wouldn't be written if it wasn't so. Right? So read Joel the 2nd chapter 1 through 12. Read the verse 12, man. Right? We can finish off the dude. Quick reset.
Zechariah chapter 12 and 3. I'm gonna read 3, and I'm gonna jump up a little bit. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 12 and 3. It reads, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. Now I'm gonna jump down, I'm gonna get to the point. Verse 8. It reads, and that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. This when we taking the nations down. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of Yahweh before them. So the most feeble brother, he might be 5'2", might have a gut, right? He might not be athletic, can't do too much. He's going to be like King David in that day, man. And King David slew thousands of people, man. The woman has songs about King David, man. Before a woman has songs about twerking and songs about folly, they used to have songs about you as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man killing the Africans. That's what Eve used to sing about, man. Eve used to sing about you killing Africans, killing Edomites, and killing the other nations. Y'all ever heard a song about that now? The American Star come out with a song about King David killing thousands of Edomites. Well, maybe Cardi B was the Ephraimites and judges. No, they ain't do that, man. You know? Not only songs about folly and vanity, but there was a time where women sang songs about King David killing tens of thousands of people, man. So he that is feeble is going to be like King David and say the house of David, we're going to be like God. Meaning we're going to be doing the same. We're going to have that power like the Lord. You're going to be teleporting. come up underground, drag somebody underground, pop up out the water, controlling the damn sea. You know, you're gonna be unstoppable, man. You know, and then your mind, you're not even gonna be able to fathom how much power you're gonna have in those days, huh?
Because somebody said it's sad to see my people acting like the devil.
Yeah, you see that?
Hmm.
See that? It is, man. That's tough, man. But in those days, we're gonna be like God. And that's the power we want in that day, man. You know?
Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 17. And there shall cleave naught of the accursed thing in thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show the mercy and have compassion upon thee and multiply thee as he hath sworn unto thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord thy God.
Yeah, and a quick point at verse 17. And Deuteronomy 13 and 17, it says, and there shall cleave naught of the cursed thing to thine hand. What is the cursed thing? Anybody know any of the men? By show of hand. What is a cursed thing? Like what? Idol. An idol or anything like when you read Joshua, right? The 3rd chapter, the 4th, 5th chapter, the 6th chapter, you read about the siege of Jericho, and Achan took the Babylonian garment and a wedge of gold, right? That's the accursed thing. Like if you have to white Jesus in your house, that's an accursed thing. You wonder why, your parents are always arguing and the house falling apart. It's always a leak in there. You got the accursed thing in there, huh? The glass always break. People, you watch the movies when they recording stuff shifting in the house. What the hell, how did that happen? Because you got the accursed thing, man. And Jake, you got all these damn African masks in your house. We know you, Jake. The damn idols you setting up, man. The Buddha statue, the little sand thing that you move around. All that stuff are the accursed thing, right? And that's why you get these snares in your household. People falling out the truth, people dying, sons getting shot. This First Chronicles chapter 2 and 7, right? This First Chronicles 2 and 7, it reads, and the sons of Kar, the troubler of Israel, who transgressed in the thing accursed. So he has a bad name forever. He's always and will forever be known as the troubler of Israel because he brought the accursed thing. This is way after, man. This is hundreds of years after the time of Joshua. This guy, Khan, he's still known as the troubler of Israel. To show you about having a bad name. It's forever. Right? But the point is, this man had the accursed thing. And never bring the accursed thing in your house, man. Somebody gave you look at this lucky stone. It'll give you a good job. You bring that accursed thing, now you get fired. Right? You got a point, King? Yeah, that's a graven image, the accursed thing. Right? Any form of heathen idolatry, you bring that in your house, all hell gonna break loose.
Might get the account. It's Joshua chapter 17 and verse 17, or Joshua chapter 7, verse 17. And he brought the families of Judah and took the family of the Zaharites, and he brought the families of the Zaharites man by man, and Zabadi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Achion, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabadi, the son of Zebra, the tribe of Judah was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done, hide it not from me. Yeah, quick point, quick background. Israel went to battle, they lost the battle. Joshua said, Lord, why are we doing all of this conquering, and then you allow us to get killed? The Lord told Joshua, you got a man in your camp that's causing somebody to die. They cast the lot fell on Judah, it fell on this house, they're in this house, now they take it man by man to figure out who did this. Verse 20. Verse 20. And Achan answered Joshua and said, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonian garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I covered them. and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran into the tent. Behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua and to all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zechariah, Zerah, and the silver and the garment and the wedge of gold, and his sons and his daughters, and his oxen and his asses, and his sheep and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them into the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burned them with fire. And after they stoned him with stones, and they raised over him a great heap of stones unto the day, so that the Lord turns from the fierceness of his anger, wherewithal the name of the place was called the Valley of Achor to this day.
See that? See what happened, man? They stoned him, they burnt him with fire, then they stoned him again.
His sons and his daughters.
And his oxen. What did the oxen do? And the sheep and the cattle. They sitting there getting stoned, man. Because of this man. See that? And the brother said, no remembrance of this guy, none of his inheritance. See what happened when you out of order? You think that you just doing your own thing. You bring a doctrine to the congregation, your whole family fall out. Right? You're sitting there, you mess up the body of men. The Lord killed everybody. He could have just said, look, you did it, you got to pay for it, go on trouble you. The Lord killed his sheep. His sheep got stoned. His brother's laughing. Damn. Damn. See that? This man got stoned, huh? And he got burned with fire after that. Right? So you got to make sure you try. The Lord said, if a man don't hold himself diligently, and the fear of the Lord, his house shall be overthrown. That's Sirach 27:3. Right? So when you not on fire and you're not diligent, your whole house is liable to be plucked up by the Lord. Right? Your wife, your sons, your daughters, your damn rent skyrocket out of nowhere. You get kicked out, you evicted, you get fired from your job, your car breaks down. Why? Because you decided you didn't want to read that thing. Right? You decided to bring the accursed thing in your house. Now you got a spiritual Babylonian garment too. What's the spiritual Babylonian garment? Their ways and customs. That was a physical Babylonian garment, but you can also cover a spiritual Babylonian garment and put on the doctrines and the ways and customs of America. See that? And cover the riches and the ways of this world. So if this man was here to this day living that life, he would have been to the philosophies of America, with that Babylonian garment.
Or he'd be in the truth, trying to conceal it.
Yeah, trying to conceal
it, bringing congregations down, man.
Right.
So, that's right. Yeah, that's it.
But with that, boom your shout. We're going to close out. Shalom.
IUIC down at the